Alright guys, we're going to spend a few minutes and we're going to show you how you can create some graphs from the data that you've put into Google Sheets, and then how you can take those charts and graphs and put them into a Google Doc as you start to put together your actual report. So one of the things we want to do is this. You see, I've got some data here. Sorry, before we do anything with it, this is just random numbers. I've got 20 countries and I've got the years 1950 and the years 2020. Now, before we sort these numbers in any kind of order, I actually want to sort of remove this first row from the sort. I kind of want to set it separate so the numbers 1950 and 2020 don't get sort of caught up as if they were data. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to set these as what we call a header row. So I'm just going to click on the word country here. And I'm going to go up to View, Freeze, and I'm going to freeze one row at the top. You'll see now there's a grey line under there. So when I do a sort, so let's say now I do this, sort this from highest to lowest, you'll see that it doesn't sort of get this number mixed up in it. So my data goes from highest to lowest. Okay, so let's go back and do a sort now from lowest to highest. And we're going to turn it into a graph now. Now, real easy. I'm going to click and drag over all of my data, including the country names and both sets of years and data. Then I'm going to go across to this little icon here. It says, I don't know if you can see it under the cursor there. It says Insert Chart. And it's actually going to create a chart for me. And I can click and drag that around. Now, this may not be the kind of chart I want, so how do I change it to a different kind of chart? Let's say I just want to do a normal column chart. Alright, so I'm hoping you can see a bit more of the screen there now. So we've got our chart, and over here, we've got some options. If I pull down this little triangle, I can pick some different types of charts. So let's go with a column chart, and you'll see my data now goes to a column chart. Now let's make that a little bit bigger so you guys can see what's going on here. This looks pretty good. I've got my countries across the bottom. The blue columns represent my year of 1950. I'm not sure because I've got a legend, but it's missing some stuff. So let's fix that first of all, because I want to put words next to these colors. So if I just click on one of my little sort of legend colors here, and I want to, in setup, if I go to the setup option, use row 1 as headers. Now when I click that, you'll see that it puts in these values next to the legend on our chart. That's good. I can see that the blue columns represent 1950, the red columns represent 2020. But there are some other things missing. I might want to put titles across the bottom, titles down the side, and an overall title for the chart. So let's do that. Let's go across now to Customize. And I'm going to go and open up Chart and Axis Titles. Now, for the chart title, I can simply go down here where it says Title Text, and I can type in comparison of two countries. You can put more detail. I'll just type that in for now, and you'll see it comes up as a title on my chart. All good. Across the bottom, I might want to change, put a little note that says these are countries. So I go here, instead of chart title, if I pull this down, I can do the horizontal axis title. So the one that goes across the bottom. Let's call it countries. And you'll see that pops up. Going down the left here, I might want to say this is, let's say this was, I don't know, population numbers. So I want to select my vertical axis title, and we might call it population, whatever your data is, and you'll see it puts a nice little title there. I've got this beautiful looking column chart now that I haven't had to do too much work on because I've already got my data here in the spreadsheet. Awesome. It's got a title. The axes both have titles. So now how do I get this into a Google document? Well, a little triple dot here in the top right corner. If I click it, one of the options is copy chart, and when I click that, I'm now going to go across, and I've got it in a separate tab here. Here's my blank Google Doc document. I can simply right click and paste. Now I want to paste it unlinked. I don't want to necessarily have a link to it. I'm happy with my chart. I hit paste, and voila. Let's just zoom out a little bit so we can just see. I think we can do that here. All right, now we've got this Google Doc that we're starting to build that has my chart in it. So I can, sort of put my other notes, blah, 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 whatever I've been doing in my report, but it's got this beautiful chart in it. Let's go back and see if there's another kind of chart that we can do. Let's get that zoom back up to say 150. Can you guys see that okay? I hope so. I wonder if we zoom. Yeah, we'll leave it like that for now. Now, if for some reason that little editor is not there, double click on the chart and your editor will open up. Let's change it. So I'm going to go back to setup now, and I'm going to pick a different type of chart. Let's say I wanted to go with, what might be another good chart for my data? A scatter plot. So I'm going to come down here to where it says, I don't know if you can see that behind me, if I duck, scatter plot. And you'll see now, everything's stayed the same, but I've got a scatter plot of my data. And that's actually a pretty handy chart for what I'm going to do. So let's copy that as well. Copy chart, go back to my Google document, and let's say we were further down in the document. Now I can right click, paste the unlinked chart, and now I've got another chart in my document. We are flying. Now a pie chart may not make sense for your data, but let's just do one more example just for the sake of completeness. Let's go back to to setup and change our data now to a pie chart. Okay, and you'll see I've got this lovely pie chart once again that has the heading on it. I'm going to copy that, put it into my Word document, paste it unlinked. Ladies and gentlemen, we've now got 3 charts in our report. Okay, so guys, that was a bit of a crash course on how to do that. So if you've missed any bit, go back, rewind it. Remember, we had to set the header row for our first row, so it didn't get included in the data. We had to, in the setup, use row 1 as headers, and from there it was just a case of using customize for our titles or setup to select our chart type. Have a play with it. Let your teacher know if you're stuck. Good job. Well done.